Well, hey, B. It's Jamie. That's me here. Okay. Y'all been over here bugging me about Real Housewives of Potomac, ready to get into some things. And let me tell you something, girl. It really wasn't that good of a damn episode. Okay. I don't even know what the piece of an uproar was about. Not so much as you guys, just seeing, a little bit of, things on Twitter or whatever. And I'm like, the episode wasn't even all that. You know what's all that? And what y'all need to be talking about is Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Because these ladies are 5 episodes in and it's giving hit after hit after hit after hit for the most part. Okay. Every episode. I don't know what we finna get in the coming episode, but girl, it's been good. It's been having me glued and tuned the hell in. But this second episode of Potomac was giving lackluster, just a little piece, but we're going to pull a little something up out of it, okay? Make sure you guys are supporting the channel by subscribing and liking to the channel. It always helps, and I do greatly, greatly appreciate it, okay? So let's get into some things, all right? We know we were at Karen's event, Haderation, whatever the hell it is that she was doing for Karen and her birthday. Gizelle and Karen called Mia out for her antics, her and Gordon, and how, that's not necessarily protecting the children. And Mia took offense to this. She felt like people were trying to say that she's not that good of a mom. And that's not really what was being said. She goes to the bathroom and she gets very emotional and she cries super hard. Here's my thing. I have two ways, two different thoughts I'm having. One, Mia could very well be very sensitive when it comes to her kids. I'm willing to not believe that, possibly. Okay, that could be the case. But if you was really sensitive when it comes to your kids, then your kids would have never saw mommy in the bed with old boy. Therefore, wouldn't have had no information to run back and tell their daddy. Okay, that's one. Number two, it's also giving that you're already questioning your motherhood. You're already questioning yourself as a mom, I feel, and how you may have handled this situation or whatever the case is. I feel like you're already in your head about that. So for somebody else to highlight it and bring it up in any small fashion or big fashion or whatever fashion, you took offense to that. You was very sensitive to that. I'm not saying you shouldn't take offense to it, but it definitely hit you because I feel like you probably was already thinking that anyway, because when you went to the bathroom, I just felt like it went that deep the way you was doing all that crying or whatever like that. So I said, well, maybe she's already been thinking about this about herself, you know. And no matter how much you may say, oh, I'm a great mom, my kids are good, this and that, doesn't mean that you don't have those thoughts in your head. And I feel like you did. So when she returns, Karen says, I'm so glad that Mia has returned. I'm so glad Mia Thornton is here. And then she leans over to Jacqueline and says, is she okay? And it's like, not you just said you glad she here, but you asking Jacqueline if she's okay. But Mia's right there, so you could just ask her, are you okay, Mia? That's all you had to say. Anywho, Wendy says at the core, we all are mothers, and that was a lot or whatever, when Mia's back there crying or whatever. Karen and Gizelle says that they weren't trying to speak on her motherhood and says that and saying that she was a bad mama. Like, we weren't trying to do that. That's not what was going on. We was just calling the thing a thing. Giselle says that she isn't saying Mia isn't a good mom, but when Gordon decides that he's finna go over there to TMZ, for her, she felt like he was angry and hurt because Ink was involved in her life along with his kids. Okay. So Giselle moves on. She's like, girl, enough of that. Okay. She in the bathroom. Let us move on to the next thing. Wendy, you and I, me and you, our relationship has been in the bucket. Okay. And since we're passing out hats, I decided that I'm going to give you a bucket hat. At first, I was like, no, you didn't. Like, I was like, girl, a bucket hat? Like, seriously? But when I saw the bucket hat, I said, it's actually kind of cute. You know what I'm saying? And when Wendy put it on, I thought that it looked really nice on her. So it wasn't a bad thing. And if she meant it for bad, Wendy damn sure turned it into good because she looked good in it, in my personal. Okay. Now, Gizelle also lets Wendy know that she wants to have a sit down with her. And of course, Wendy agrees and she starts being sarcastic, saying, oh, I would love to go out to eat with you, Gizelle. No one but you, girl. Yes. Okay. So they're going to have that talk. All right. And then that's when Mia decided to return. And that's when Karen asked Jacqueline, is she okay or whatever? Karen. At a later time, Karen says this wasn't going to be the Inquisition party that they thought it was going to be. And I thought that was a chuckle for sure. I said, you damn sure right, because the way you sat your ass up there and deflected, okay, the way you sat up there and played tennis with them, just then threw that ball right back over there to Miss Mia, girl, I have to give you a piece of a clap because that was a good deflection there. I think you did a good job, just a little bit. Okay, now there's that. Let's go ahead and get to Gizelle and Wendy because they did meet up for lunch, okay? So they meet for lunch, and Wendy to me looked very cute. She made sure she had them breasts pushed all the way up into Giselle's face. Remember when she first got their work done, and Giselle tried to insinuate that she's getting all this work done because of something going on with her husband or something. So Wendy makes sure that she sees all the work that she got done by pushing them damn breasts so high up they about to hit her chin. So Giselle tells Wendy, and let me say this. I feel like we're gonna start seeing this type of fashion from Wendy more often. I do. I think that she's going to give us extra fashion that may not even fit the setting all of the time. It's making me think of Ayan, Real Housewives of Dubai, Bronwyn, Real Housewives Salt Lake City. I don't know who that person is going to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay. But I think Wendy is about to step into that role where she gives the extraness just a bit. We gonna see. We gonna see. I'm gonna judge it case by case, and if I feel like she doing too much with the fit, I'm gonna say it. I don't think she really did a whole lot when she went and sat down with Giselle. I don't know what event she was at prior to that. Just a little piece, okay? I thought she looked cute. You know, I liked it. Okay, whatever. So Giselle tells Wendy that she feels like when Wendy is angry, she comes off very condescending, and she doesn't like that. Okay. And I'm like, you do the same thing. You do the same exact thing. Giselle says there is no room for friendship when you're talking to someone in a demeaning way. Okay, girl. So these are the things that Giselle says. So Wendy clocked back, and I said, "Come on, Win. Come on, Zen, Win." Wendy said, well, I think that it's unfair to police people's responses when you brought it to the door. Okay, you brought that SHI to my door, so I met you right where you was, and I threw that right back. Okay." So don't be trying to sit down here, have no conversation with me, and trying to police how it is that I move. And Giselle said, "Well, wait a minute, honey. I'm not trying to police you. I'm just telling you that I don't like it." Okay. And Wendy's like, "Okay, and you don't like it, and what you want me to do?" Okay. At the end of the day, regardless of what you don't like, listen, you do it again, I'm going to do it again. So if you don't like it, then don't come at me like that. And then I won't come at you like that. See, that's the moral of the story at the end of the day. And I need you to understand that on today. Okay. Now, let me say this, and I'm adding spice to it because that's really not how it went. Oh yeah, another thing Wendy said. Wendy says that she doesn't appreciate how Giselle tries to alienate people, and I like that. Okay, because you do. And then Giselle says, "Well, my thing is this: if I don't like you, I don't speak to you. Well, if you don't like people and you don't want to speak to them, then don't show up to their events that they're hosting." And then not even acknowledge them. I think that's heavily disrespectful. Karen has slick done something like that to you, and I'm sure other folks have. And even if they didn't, if somebody did that to you, you would be pissed off. So I think that that was very wrong. That was very rude. What I did not like about this sit down in my personal was that I did not hear any apologies coming in the direction of Wendy in any capacity. Okay. Maybe Giselle felt like, touche, I did it to you, you did it back to me. Girl, we even. I ain't gotta apologize. You got your get back already. Don't know. What I do know is that Wendy, by profession, is a political commentator. Wendy is a person that is long winded as well. In addition to that, Wendy is also a person to me that enjoys fact checking. Right? That's a part of her, political commentating job, her political analyst job, where she can fact check things. Okay. So I refuse to believe that Wendy sat up there this whole time and this is what y'all gave us of a sit down. I feel like you guys did a little bit of injustice. You guys are showing us Karen and Ray, and Karen taking a sip of damn coffee. Y'all could have took that scene out and gave us more of Gizelle and Wendy actually hashing this out, because it don't really look like it's been resolved high key, because we didn't really get to see the thick of everything, right? And so I'm thinking this as I'm watching the show. And then later on, I ended up seeing Brooke Ashley, another content creator here on YouTube. Shout out to Brooke. She was on Twitter and she had some things that she mentioned about the sit down with Wendy that I don't think she liked too well herself. Let me see if I can find it, because I want to remember what Brooke said. Give me 1 second, because it definitely has something to do with the sit down that she just wasn't here for. Like, girl, what is this? Okay. I think a lot of us was like, girl, what the hell? What is this, honey? So, Brooke was saying that she's all for moving forward and forgiving, but we have to have some tough conversations. To thank you. That is exactly what I was thinking when I was like watching this. I'm like, and maybe they had the tough conversations, right? But for me, how I was watching it the first time, I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't it here. This woman has a lot has happened between Gizelle and Wendy. Gizelle literally justified Mia hitting this woman and throwing a drink on her. Like, we have to address some things, okay? There were some things that's been said. There's some things that has happened. Like, I'm confused. And Wendy being a person that to me is a political commentator. She's also a long-winded person, in my opinion. I feel like you're not just gonna sit down with her and just get a 15-minute conversation. It's just not gonna happen. So why did y'all edit out? I'm immediately in my head going to like, why did y'all edit this up like this? Right. And then I get on Twitter and I'm seeing that they've already had this conversation where Brooke is thinking what I'm thinking. Okay. And then you got Dr. Wendy over here coming saying that it was a 2-hour conversation. And she said she brought up everything. She brought up her husband, her talking about her mama, all of that. Okay. And that's what she said. She brought up everything. And I'm like, dang, we didn't get to see it. And I don't like that. But here's my other question. My question is this: is the reason we did not see it? And let me say that before I get into it. Number one, I do believe that happened at 2-hour lunch because I'm like, girl, Wendy will get to talking, honey. So, and y'all already know. So I'm like, girl, I know y'all got more footage than that. What the hell y'all gave us? Anyway, um, is the reason we didn't see it was because you likely brought up all of that stuff and Gizelle was possibly dismissive just a little bit. Not so much like I'm not gonna say dismissive, but like she of course acknowledged it because you were at a place where you were receiving things and maybe she received it. Maybe it wasn't given what we thought. Maybe it wasn't enough for them to want to share all of that with us. So let's just get to the root of whatever the conversation. Like, let's just get to this right here. Okay. The result is they're gonna be cool. Okay. Let's get where it starts off and let's get where we wrap it up. So I'm wondering when she brought these things up to Gizelle, what was Gizelle's response? And based on what her response was, is that why we did not get to see all of that? Okay. And obviously it was an okay enough response for Wendy to want to continue to move forward. Right. But maybe that, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just asking questions. I'm just wondering, what could it have been? But so there's that. All right. There was more to the conversation. I do think that we should have saw that. I think we should have saw them have a deeper conversation. I feel like us seeing them have a deeper conversation would allow us to believe actually believe the friendship that is developing at a later time had we saw a deeper conversation. Okay, but all in all, if they gonna move forward, I'm cool with it. I ain't even in the situation, so do what y'all gonna do. It is what it is, and yeah, let's move forward. Let's move forward. All right, so what else ended up happening? Um, let's see. Gizelle says that she will start letting Wendy know if she has an issue with her in the moment. She won't, as they go forward, she won't hold on to it. She's gonna let her know right then. And Gizelle feels like this was one of the best convos they've ever had. I guess. She said it was the best convo. So I didn't hear. I don't know. Did Wendy say it was the best combo? Either way, it don't matter, girl. They cool. Let's move on. So, what else happened? So, yeah, they talk about Mia. Of course, Wendy feels like Mia was hurt. Gizelle still thinks Mia's drama shouldn't be here. And I'm like, what do you mean her drama shouldn't be here? Her drama is the reason that y'all gonna get some of the views that you are getting. Like, girl, what are you talking about? Your drama shouldn't be here, but Jamal shouldn't be here, which is why he wasn't. Okay, I'm confused. Like, what you mean it shouldn't be here? What you mean? I think what she's trying to say is that it's just too damn messy. Okay, with kids involved. Maybe that's what Gizelle mean. What you mean it should not be here? Okay. Anywho, let's get to Stacy. We meet Stacy's daughter. Stacy's from Detroit. Her and her husband are separated. They're getting a divorce, but they do live in the same house still, but they're living in separate rooms. Okay. She says that when he's in New York, or at least when he's in town, she goes to her apartment that I do believe is in New York. And when she's in town, he acts like he's traveling and on a trip or whatever. Okay. They have not had the conversation about the divorce to their child. They want to wait until they get everything squared away as far as school, educate, of course, school, education, finances, where she gonna be at, all of that. So they want to get everything sorted out so that they can have the full conversation with her at a later time. Okay. Now listen, Stacy says that she's dating and believes that her husband is too. All right. Now, married but separated. Okay, make sure that y'all start dragging Stacy's side piece now. Okay, because remember I had brought this story to y'all about this side piece lady, and y'all was over there eating somebody up, talking about how you in a relationship with a whole married man, even though them people was separated or whatever. I want to make sure that y'all going over there and y'all finna tap on Stacy's man's door and say, what you think you doing, sir, over here dating this woman that's married still. Okay. I want y'all to remember what y'all said now. Because when you married, even when you separated, you still married. Period. Now let's keep going. So that's what all Stacy told us. Let's get to KK, Kiana, and Miss Karen. They've gotten closer since her incident. Okay, you know she got into that fight with Deborah down at the GNA event last season. Okay, Karen asked her about her man, and she says, "Oh my boo, he's doing great." She's like, "Girl, is there an engagement coming?" She says, "Girl, well, what's coming is us cohabitating. That's what we're working on right now. That's very important to us." I guess. So then she says that she's moved into his home because she's actually getting her home built. Okay, so she's gonna move into his home until her house is done. And everybody's pretty much wondering what a ring at. The mama don't really like the fact that she's shacking up or whatever, and she ain't got no ring. So hopefully that'll be forthcoming. We shall see. Now, Kiana learns that she wasn't invited to Karen's birthday party. She felt away, even though Gizelle told Karen that the space was very limited and she only could have oh so many people down there. Okay. That's what it was given. I don't think Gizelle has an issue with Kiana either. I really don't. She has no reason to really have an issue. I mean, unless you want to be mad at her for fighting at your event. But in that case, you would have to be mad at Ashley, and you ain't trying to be mad at Ashley. So I know you ain't mad at Kiana. So yeah, Gizelle says she ain't got no issue with her. I don't think she do. Okay, until I see something else to make me think that Gizelle got a problem with Kiana, I don't think she got no problem with that lady. All right, so Karen tells her about an upcoming GNA event, but Kate doesn't expect to be there because, girl, I already had a terrible experience with that. I will not be in attendance, so please don't be looking for me because it's not happening. Karen says Mia and Jacqueline had a lot of questions, and she wants to know who her real friends are because she don't want to be around no fake BITCHs like them. Okay, but y'all know Karen and Mia been had it out. They've been having issues since last season. Okay, so Mia finna be on Karen's head. And she finna definitely use Jacqueline to do it, girl. It's finna be real funny. So Ashley and Stacy. So they go for a walk. And of course, Ashley asks her about her husband. And she tells her that they still live together. And Ashley acting all shocked. Oh my God, what, girl? Ashley is so happy to have somebody else that she feel that she can judge, but we're gonna always come back and revisit you in your situation. How are you today? Okay. Um, don't act too shocked as if you wasn't living with Michael till you finally found that home that Michael's paying for. You know, the fact that you over there like, y'all live together, what? You know, that's how we was looking at you when we found out that you let Michael buy their house in the LLC. And he paying the bills over there. So you're not even the sole owner. What? Ah, all right. Anywho, Stacy asked Ashley what's her nationality. Is I'm American? Miss Ashley said, "Girl, I'm mixed. Girl, my mama black and my zitty he is white. Okay, so that's me." She said, "So what do you identify as?" She said, "I identify as a black woman. That's what I identify as." That. Ashley, go away from me with this, baby. Don't sit down. Pick your stuff up. Stand at the door. Don't come in here. Stand at the door. What you want? Okay. Stand at the door because you playing games. I find it very hard to believe that you do identify as a black woman in my personal opinion. Um, I can't tell you what to you choose what you want to choose. I'm just giving you my observation based on television, right? Because I don't know you personally, just based on TV. I don't. I do feel like you might identify as either or depending upon who you're around. But do your thing, girl. It's whatever you want to do. It's your world. I would like to see a driver's license though, so I know it's real. Okay. Because if that driver's license says black, then we might believe you. Anywho, so Stacy asked the best question in my opinion. Girl, damn what you identify as. Because one thing about it, regardless of what you identify as, the people gonna identify you as who the hell they want you to be. That's the thing about it. Ain't that crazy, girl? They gonna tell you what it is. Okay, period. But anywho, so Stacy asked the question like, so how do you identify your sons? I said, ooh, well, let me come closer, bitch. How do how do you do that, ma'am? How does that work? So she says her sons don't have enough black people around them, and that's why they don't know that I don't know if they don't know that they black, but I feel like they don't know a lot about that culture. All right. She says she's working on identifying them herself. And I feel like when she asked her that, I think Ashley really was like, girl, I identify them as my kids. I identify them as boys. That's how yes. Identify them as I haven't had that conversation. I don't how do you tell people that at this age that they're a piece of black, 1/4, when they look white? How do you have that it's tough. I think when they get older I'll be able to have that conversation with them more and identify them or let them identify themselves. I don't have the girl, I don't know. All right. So Ashley, she don't know. Okay. I think Ashley will identify those babies as boys while America identifies them as white ones. She says her family is the only people of color that her children have been around. I said, I'm so glad you said people of color. I'm so glad you said people of color at that time, even though you gave flashbacks and said that everybody was black and stuff like that, and that may be the case. But I mean, they are very, brighter skin. And that doesn't mean that they're not black. I thought that everybody in her family was mixed, to be honest. I really did. But maybe it's a situation like Robyn. Robyn sees herself as black. She has two parents that I thought were mixed. Maybe they're not. That's pardon my ignorance, okay? But maybe it's a situation like that. But anywho, so I also feel like Ashley identifies as black because her daddy wanted nothing to do with her. Just a little piece. Okay? Just a little piece though. But anyway, girl. So yeah, we'll see. I think that a lot of things that Ashley does is for her to disassociate herself from being black. So I I don't see her raising her sons like that. I'm sure that's difficult for her though. I don't know. Mm-mm. Anyway, girl, good luck, honey. What else? I think everything she does. No, no, no. Stacy. Stacy also related because she said her child ain't around no black kids either, but she from Detroit, so she know all about that life. So she say, but as she grew up, things changed for her. So yeah, all right. I don't know what they're going to do to change that. Wendy has sons that are very black. I don't know if Ashley, although they're in difference of ages, would have them hang around a bit more. I don't know. So they can be around those black kids. Anyway, girl, Stacy tells Ashley about her devout Christian man and that they haven't had sex and stuff. And Ashley over there sounding all shocked and surprised that they haven't had sex. Oh my God, girl, you've been with the same DICK for 17 years and you haven't gotten it in with anybody. Girl, I'm not giving a damn about her having sex. What I'm focused on is the fact that he's a devout Christian, but he's dating this married woman and living with her husband. Devout Christian. Girl, y'all, devouts been having the people in the chokehold lately, ain't it? Girl, or the people been having y'all in one, Pastor Keon, Jamal, Bryant, this devout Christian man. Girl, what's going on with y'all? I guess let's keep going. Gizelle and Karen, honey. So Karen tells Gizelle that her party was an Inquisition party. Okay, she took offense to the non-alcoholic Grand Dame drink, and I'm like, girl, it wasn't even that deep. In my personal, I really don't feel like it was that deep. You just wanted to be offended because you don't want to have to face anything amongst your friends about your drinking and the incident that happened. So you want people to just act like it never happened and move along. So girl, when they deep, just let it go. Gizelle says that she ain't mean to be shady, and they discuss Wendy and Gizelle. She says that, oh, I thought that was interesting. When they brought up Wendy, Gizelle says, Dr. Wendy. I said, not you over there saying Dr. Wendy as though you trying to correct Karen on how to say the lady name. So she tells her that they had a great convo and they are moving forward. So things are looking up for Wendy and Gizelle. Giselle asked Karen if she's talked to Jacqueline because Jacqueline had a lot of questions before she got to the event or to the birthday function. So have you talked to her? And Karen, like, I ain't talked to that bitch. And I'm not finna talk to her because I had some time out. Because she said something that I ain't like. She gonna talk about something. We'll wait until the hearing or to the court or whatever. Basically, like she gotta wait on more details to see whether or not I'm telling the truth. Karen, a lot of people are waiting, baby. A lot of people are waiting. But I guess you just didn't expect that because you're trying to see who's fake and who's real. Hell, I feel like that's being real. In my opinion, I feel like it's being real to tell you. It's like, girl, we'll just have to wait and see what's going to really come out. Because it ain't like you don't lie, because you do. Okay? You definitely do that. And it's actual factual. You want people to be fake around you, but you talking about you want real BITs. Now, what I can get with you on, okay, is when you said that your real friends are going to support you regardless of anything. Yes, I agree. I agree. For the most part, they are. But at the same time, that don't mean that they ain't got no damn questions. But okay. So, anywho, they bring up Kay. Karen talks about Kay and says that she was a little hurt by the fact that she wasn't invited to the party. And Giselle's like, girl, I told you it was I was limited on my count. I ain't got no issue with that girl. Matter of fact, I'm going to invite her to the GNA event. How about that? And I'm like, Gizelle, you sure? You sure you want to invite her to the GNA event when she sat up there and went to the last one and did not have a great experience? I don't know if that's a good idea, but at least you can ask her and let her decline, okay? So Karen says her event is before Gizelle and that she's going to make Giselle's event. So Gizelle said, well, what time is your event? She said, girl, I don't even know. And I'm like, you don't know. You don't know what time your event is, but you're sure that you're going to make it to her event? Karen, stop playing with folks. Stop playing, girl. Okay. So Karen, next thing you know, she sends out a text message to let people know that she will have transportation for them to go from her event to Giselle's event. And Stacey says, girl, I would have never sent down no damn text message to some friends. They have made up their mind that they finna go and support somebody else. And you over here talk about some, hey, y'all can come to my event first and then y'all can go to her event. Girl, what? So this is what Stacey is saying. So Gizelle is irritated about it because she's like, girl, why would you do that? Like, are you okay? Like, why would you? I don't like that. Why would you do that? So Gizelle feels like Karen is only getting honored because she asked to get honored, okay? To make it seem like she's important. And I'm like, now why would Karen ask somebody to honor her? Like, why would Karen go and do that? Then I thought about it and I'm like, well, maybe she did because she's trying to deflect once again because she's the master of deflection. So maybe she's trying to deflect from the incident that happened and put more focus on her being honored at these awards. So I'm like, that's possible, but then it just don't sound right to ask someone else to honor you at a banquet. I don't know. I see what she's saying, but then I don't know. It also don't sound right at the same time. So I don't know. Right? But Gizelle is like, what are you even getting honored for? Running into a motherfucking tree? Like, girl, what? What's she getting honored for, ma'am? Girl, I'm over here honoring my dad that I lost months ago. You remember how when you lost your parents and I was over there consoling you? Remember that? How I was over there having your back, even though we was slight beefing, but I got your back. When you lost your parents, I was there for you. Girl, why would you do that? Why would you send out this text message to all these folks? Like, the audacity of you. Okay? As if my event is an afterthought. Like, girl, what? So Gizelle feeling away. So they get to the event. And she pretty much tell the girls, like, I'm not even trying to see these hoes. Like, these hoes don't even got to show up, because I think that's rude as hell. I think that's disrespectful as fuck, and all of that. Now, I feel like details are being left out because it leaves me a bit confused, because on the van, Stacy said something about or no, in the confessional, Stacy said, why would you send out a text message to a group of ladies that had already committed on which event they're going to? So I don't know. Like, I had to watch it twice to see how I really felt about it. But I just feel like they kind of leaving out a little bit of stuff, because I was kind of like, well, why are you mad, Gizelle? Like, they still coming to your event. Like, I mean, it's putting them in a difficult position to have to split between the two ladies. Like, they're trying to show support to both of y'all. So why would you not even want them to come, like, at all? Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't really making sense. So Ashley says that Karen has known about their event for the longest, and she sent that text intentionally to be shady. But Ashley's still hopeful that the ladies are going to show up for them. Vivian, who's Karen's friend, decided to show up for Gizelle and them instead of showing up for Karen. Hold what you got, and I'm gonna tell you why in a second, if I can remember. Okay. Now, Stacy thinks that Karen is putting the women in a difficult situation or whatever, and all of that. Okay. Now, Jazzy called Ashley to give her an update. She wants them there by 8. They already late in general. Gizelle says they rude. She don't want them to come no more. Like, they just rude as hell. Wendy and Kiana are on the bus trying to get the time frame. Everybody trying to get the time frame, but how long it's going to take to get here, there, boom, boom. And Wendy and them like, listen, I'm coming for the sole purpose of supporting Karen. So I've never been interested in going to Nan Gizelle, and Ashley had. So that's where I stand. And Kiana, like, I'm with you. So Karen thinks she's more likable because the ladies chose to come and support her and not Gizelle. Okay. Mia, Stacy, and Jazzy left though to go and support Gizelle. Now, when they arrived, Gizelle decided that she finna kick them the hell out. And I feel like that was a bit unprofessional. If you're here doing an event in honor of your dad and you're trying to get donations while you got these professional people here for their organization, I think that was rude as you being a host trying to kick somebody out because you were in your feelings. I think that you should have allowed the event to take place as necessary, and then at a later time you should have checked them accordingly, because you was already feeling a way about how the GNA event went down the last time, and you didn't like that negative publicity or whatever that was surrounding y'all event. So now you're doing a completely different one. Y'all taking it in a completely different direction, and then you're being loud and proud and collecting everybody and telling them no, they gotta go, and you calling security and stuff. And it's like, you think that was a good look, but I guess it's only cool when you do it and nobody else. Granted, nobody was fighting, but still, that may be what they talk about. That may supersede your actual event, okay? But let's go back up, because I do want to talk about this whole event and everything, okay? Now, Gizelle was pissed off about what Karen did. And in the beginning, when I first watched it, I didn't understand why Gizelle would feel away. Like, why are you feeling like it's not that deep? Like, girl, they trying to support both of y'all. But then as I thought about it and I looked at her event when I watched it the second time, and maybe when I watched it the first time, my thing was, I get it. I kind of get what Gizelle, why she was upset, because honestly, Gizelle had kind of like a cocktail hour event to me, whereas Karen had more of a banquet style event. When you have that type of honoring event, I do feel like you can kind of subtly, you can like be late and ease on in there, right? So I do feel like the ladies should have honored their first commitment, which was to go to Gizelle's function, especially if you already gave her your word. Go ahead and go to her function, shake hands, see people, whatever, then leave. Because it looks to me that Karen's event was still going to be going on. It looks like when y'all got there, the event didn't even get started yet. You see what I'm saying? When it's banquets, you got different keynote speakers, you got people accepting awards, you got people giving their stories. It can be long and it can be drawn the hell out. Then y'all gotta eat. You gotta give time for people to eat and stuff. So I do feel like I kind of see why Gizelle may have been upset with them, especially if, according to Stacy, y'all sat up there and said and already gave her y'all word that y'all were going to come to her event. But now all of a sudden, Karen saying that she going to offer y'all a car and some transportation to basically come to her event first and then go to Gizelle's event, knowing that if they go to a banquet, they could potentially get caught up at the banquet. in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, people got to eat. It's different conversations. Da, 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 da. Whereas when you're mingling in like a happy hour type of setting, it's easy for you to tiptoe out the door and not necessarily be missed. A banquet is a little bit different because that's what it looks like Karen them had. So at first, I was more so on Karen's side for me, but when I watched it again and stuff, I was like, I think I see. Now that I see the layout of Gizelle's event, y'all definitely, it would have looked better going to Gizelle's event for about 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes or whatever, and then sliding out and finishing it off with Karen, to be honest. So I do understand that, but also I think that y'all probably should have just pulled out of a hat. And whatever y'all pulled out of a hat, that's just what it is. That's who you go and support that day. And it just would have been up. Either lady would have been pissed. So there's that. Or you could have been on some Wendy and make a decision. Wendy made a decision, her and Kiana, like, girl, I'm supporting Karen. I don't care nothing about nothing else y'all got going on. That does not matter to me. So if you would have been on some, especially especially Mia, who really ain't fucking with Karen, you should have just went to Gizelle's event. All right. So that's why I think Vivian went to Gizelle's event. I think she went to Gizelle's event first because she had an understanding of what Gizelle's event was. And that's if she went to Karen. So if she came there and then went to Karen, it makes sense why. It's a fundraiser style. She probably had an idea of what it was going to look like. It wasn't going to be a banquet or anything, just mix and mingle. And then once we get a break somewhere in there, let me slide out and go to Karen's event. Like, it only made sense to me. But, you know, not only made sense to just me, but that train of thought, yeah. But y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below. Let me know what you're thinking and how you're feeling about everything when it comes to this situation, child. That's all that I got for you guys at this time. I am Jami, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at JamiThatsMe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. But I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be